Hey guys, and welcome to Get Review. So I'm back. My PC seems to be holding up. In case you haven't noticed or haven't seen my previous video, I posted an update in which I said that my PC were having some severe problems, and it's a pretty long story, and it seems that it's fixed by itself. But anyways, so I decided to do this video because of several reasons. So there's always going to be someone that will not understand me, will say stupid things. Whatever I say, I'm basically wasting my breath, trying to explain myself and why I wanted to do this video. But no matter, I can't please everybody, and I just have to accept that, especially being on YouTube. Yeah, nobody can speak about anything these days without being, criticized about something. So yeah, I know. But my reasons for this video are that I am a very big Superman fan. That's my number one favorite superhero. I also love a lot of, superheroes. Batman is my second favorite, and so on. Spider-Man. I grew up with Spider-Man, fantasizing about being Spider-Man. Also, didn't even occur to me that I'm a girl at that time. I'm just like, yeah, I want to be Superman, Spider-Man, Batman. Why not? But anyways, so I wanted to make this video, it's a follow-up video, you can say, about my Injustice 2 trailer review, and a lot of people didn't quite get it, why I had so many criticisms about Superman's appearance. So basically what I want to say is to address some of the things that, people didn't quite get it, and some other people actually did get it. They do think that Superman does not look like he's supposed to be looking as Superman. Mostly in his face, but there's some things about the costume in the trailers. And of course, I do know that you can change his appearance. We will have a lot of other costumes, designs, and so on, but still, to come up with such costumes and such face, for me, it's a disrespect of the character. It's just how I feel, because Superman has always been this perfect man visually, and that is very important to how he's presented and everything. So for me, somebody to come up with designs that does not complement him and that does not make him look like he's supposed to be looking like Superman, I just want to say something about that, because when you love a certain, characters, you do know how they're supposed to be looking like. And like it or not, the appearance is very important, especially in a superhero. It's a matter of respect to get that character right, to get their visual appearance right. So without further ado, let's start with this. And what do you think, in general about Superman's design in Injustice? And of course, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to like the game or anything like that. That doesn't mean that I'm going to bash the game or anything like that. I'm just speaking specifically about his design, and I'm just going to touch upon a little bit about Wonder Woman's design, actually. And I did say some stuff about Supergirl. Supergirl looks, overall fine. The costume that was shown in the trailers was also not good for me, because the small logo, the strange lines across the costume, fabric of it kinda looked very strangely cheap, and her hair is shorter, and some people in the comments pointed out that maybe that is supposed to be because she's supposed to be looking also like Power Girl. But I'm like, Power Girl and Supergirl, although they are, the same in a way, they're still two different characters. So if I want Supergirl, she's supposed to be looking like Supergirl, and if I want Power Girl, she's supposed to be looking like Power Girl. I really don't like the shorter hair. Other than that, and the small logo, she's pretty much fine. So that's about it about Supergirl. But now let's start with Superman. I'm going to explain to you what I explained in my previous video. Like I said, address some of the things that you guys said, and some of the things that I was misunderstood about, and I had to reply to those comments. But now I'm going to explain to you further what exactly that I meant. Okay, first off, about his angry face. So I got here this screenshot, as you can see, and I talked about how ugly he's looking. And some people said, well, he's doing this face, of course that he's not going to look well. But on the contrary, when Superman is handsome, he will look handsome no matter what face he makes. And that is proven by the comic books, to say the least. And even if we see, Henry Cavill when he makes a grim face, even when we remember how Christopher Reeve, when he played Angry Superman, Yeah, he makes those, ugly faces, so to speak, but you can still see that that is a handsome face, that is an attractive man under that, expression. So here, he's not only looking extremely ugly, but that is not because only of his face, it's because his design in general is bad, and he looks a lot more like a truck driver than a handsome, modelly like alien from Krypton. And I'm going to show you actually pictures from the comic books that show angry face and how he actually looks like when he is angry with his usual face, the face that he's supposed to be having, and how he looks actually beautiful. But first, because we are still on this picture, I'm just going to say that his that area around his chest that's supposed to make his chest look more defined by the costume, it just makes it look like a bra. So no, I also totally don't like that strange lines that are going up and down on his costume. You can't even see his abdominal muscles. They are not shown at all in any way. I mean, the costume does not complement his figure whatsoever. It just makes him look like he wears some kind of a prison pajamas or something. So that for me is a hideous design, and whoever came up with that, I don't know. Okay, so first example of how Superman is looking when he's making a grim face, not with his mouth open, but I also have a picture for that. So that is a perfect example what you see here in this picture. Extremely handsome Superman, how he's supposed to be looking. You can still see, no matter of what the expression that he makes, that he's amazingly handsome man. I mean, that is pretty much perfection right there. I mean, it is. Perfection is kind of subjective thing, but this is the closest thing that a man maybe you can think of can look like. Even if you leave completely that, I mean, Superman is made to look this idealistic because he's Superman. He's supposed to be from a very advanced alien race, probably with a lot better genes, because if they're advanced in their technologies a lot more than us, and they already exhausted all the planet's resources, they probably exist for a longer time, so that means they are much more advanced biologically as well. I mean, if they are further in their evolution, let's say. So by that logic, all the men of Krypton actually should be very handsome, which they're kind of not in the movies, like, at all. In the comic books, I think there's something like that, because I do remember that Jor-El in the comics looks pretty much like Superman when he's young, so. But anyways, moving on to the next picture now. Okay, so here's a Superman with a very angry face with his mouth open, finally. Again, you can see he looks perfectly modelly handsome, and he still has this anger in his face. He's still expressing that feeling on his face. He's doing, I mean, look at him. That is how you draw Superman. That is how you make Superman. That is one of the best Superman representations in the comics in terms of how he's drawn, body type, muscular development and everything. So yeah, that's Amazing Superman New 52. Amazing, guys. So again, he can be done with his angry face and still be handsome, because some of the comments said, well, what did you expect? He just lost, his family, and he doesn't have time to tend to himself. Well, excuse me, but he is shaved. I mean, in the trailer he was shaved. It's not like he grew a beard like to here. And you didn't understand what I said. His face structure and face features are not that of Superman. They are of a truck driver, of an absolutely regular person. I did say in my first video that it was kind of similar to the Punisher. I mean, something like that. I mean, compared to how Superman really looks like, it looks retarded, compared to his look. So that, for me, again, is disrespectful. And it's not about his expressions, it's about what facial features he has and how he looks like. So this is how he should look like. Okay, moving on to the next picture. Okay, this is, of course, again, Superman by Jim Lee. And we see another angry face here. And that's why I actually divided the picture like that, so you can see him from afar and up close. Again, his body type is perfect. I'm going to talk about the body type and how, the costume is structured in the game again, a little bit on that. But again, see here, he's angry. I mean, he looks pissed, like pissed. He's obviously not happy. He's crappy a little bit. He's kind of dirty looking in a way. He's obviously comes out from some kind of a fire or something. And he still looks handsome. You can still say it's Superman. You can still see that he's a handsome guy and he has great facial structure, jawline, nose, great eyebrows, and everything. The thick neck, I mean, my goodness. I hope that you can really make the difference, please, because if the people that design Superman, the new game, have the same way of thinking, like, oh yeah, it's Superman, I'm just going to make him look buff and with the regular face of every other man, and yeah, who cares? No, you have to make him look like Superman, body and face, for goodness sakes. Here's another perfect example of how Superman should look like. His smile, it's perfect. I mean, again, you can see that his face is amazingly handsome. He's handsome, guys. He's perfect. He's Superman. He has to look like a manly, badass supermodel. That is what Superman is. And I do realize that we can't change the game or anything, but such things should have more attention. I hope that you get me, guys. This is super obvious for this character. The appearance of Superman especially is very much established through the years. Spider-Man, for instance, didn't quite look the same in the comics, but Superman is always this model, okay, this badass model, perfection of a man. That is why he impresses, he's intimidating, and in the same time he makes everybody that have complexes, of course, feel like crap for themselves and for their appearance, because he is so intimidating by his amazing looks. And I'm sorry, but that is how Superman should be. Again, okay, this is just another perfection of the new 52 Superman and of how Jim Lee was able to make him look, and this is absolutely amazing. He is powerful. I mean, that picture screams handsome, powerful, smart, intelligent, force to be reckoned with. Everything. By his face, hair even, muscles, I mean biceps, triceps, chest, stomach, his posture, the way that he holds his fist, everything. Those are details that must be done justice. Okay, so before we go to the other pictures of the game, again, another perfect example actually of how he's looking angry. He's in a battle scene. He just went through all those cables and metal and all of that, and he looks, again, perfectly handsome. His body looks amazing. Again, his body looks absolutely perfect. And when you make anything that is not real, I mean, when you make a design, you have the abilities to choose how this design is going to look like. You don't have any restrictions in terms of how much muscle he can have or no, because he's not a real person. When Henry Cavill trains for Superman, he has to train as much as humanly possible to achieve this body, and he does have genetic limitations, whether or not he takes steroids or not. We're not going to talk about that, at least for now, no, but I mean, he does have some things that limit him one way or another. And here, when you draw a comic out of nothing, the only thing that is limiting you is maybe the technology of it, but here they do have all the technology that they possibly could have. The next thing that you're limited by is your imagination, your talent, and whoever is deciding all those things as well. Whoever, decided for Superman to look like crap, well, I can say only to that, a more intelligent artist is needed to do Superman justice for that. But I mean, you can do everything and present that character the best way possible. You have that when you are making something out of nothing, how Jim Lee did. He did his best to draw Superman, and the same can be done in 3D in a game. It's not even like you have to stick to some real person. You just have to do Superman the best way possible, and that's it. And now let's move on to the extremely terrible Superman design in the game. Okay, so first up, This is from the first trailer, I think. Okay, so first the costume, because we can't really see his face here, but I still can tell you that that's not Superman by his head and by the things that I see. I think that they're trying to make Henry Cavill's hairline for some reason, and that's actually the only thing that I really don't like about his Superman, his version of Superman. His hairline is something that he can't fix, it's just how the way that his hair grows, but that's a far cry from what Superman hairline is usually. That's the second thing that I actually don't like about Henry Cavill's Superman. The first thing is that he's the hairiest Superman we ever seen. He has chest hair all over, as you know, and some of my oldest subscribers do know that I just don't like chest hair at all, and it hides his muscle definition and it just doesn't look good at all, especially when it comes out from his costume. Oh my goodness, that is disgusting. But okay, I'm sorry about that rant, but every time that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you're so close to perfect, but that is just okay. So what the hell? What designer decided to make this look so terrible? What are those stitches? Why is the logo so like it's printed on? It's very fade out. It's not even there actually. He looks like he has man boobs because this is some kind of a leather on top. Why the stitches? Why this? Why those lines? Why? He looks like Bizarro. Let's say that he made his costume on his own when he was drunk, and he's already nuts, but let's say that he was drunk also and he tried to sew something, to make something from like pieces of leather and stuff, like Frankenstein kind of thing, and this is what is going to come out. I mean, this looks so unprofessional. Even talking of a pure designer standpoint, his cape looks like stitched on. What the hell? What the freaking hell, guys? Okay, so here's the constipated face now, up and close. I tried to make this as, you know, bright as possible so you can really see it. Yeah, so here it is. Is that Superman? No, I mean, that is not Superman. Okay, they make his jaw, you know, square jaw, that's good, but other than that, everything else is pretty ugly, mate. I mean, whatever I say is not even going to cover how not Superman-y this guy here looks. No, that is not the face of Superman. This is just not. I mean, who the heck is that guy? If somebody shows me that face and I have no idea about Injustice 2, I have no idea about it, this is Superman. And hey Gary, like, who's that guy? Who do you think that is? And I'm like, who? I don't know. And if the other person says, like, do you think this is a superhero? Like, do you think this is some of the Marvel or the DC superheroes? And if it is, who one of those do you think it is? And I'm probably going to be like, well, I don't know, this kind of looks like the Punisher, but I mean, it could be, I really don't know, but the closest thing that I can think of is like the Punisher, maybe. I mean, I'll never think of Superman like in a million years. And not even Batman. Like, I could think about Batman for a second, because Batman is also supposed to be this very handsome guy, and they also mess his face in some games, especially in the Arkham series. I never really like how he looked there. Yeah, Batman or the Punisher. Okay, this is just another picture. Again, the same. He doesn't look okay. That is not... I mean, what is that face? Oh, it's terrible. Again, the costume is terrible. We already know that, so... that face again. Okay. Oh, no, this is not okay. And what is up with that hair? Again, he looks like just a regular American dad. Do I have to explain why this is so wrong again? Because it is. Other than that, this time I do like the armor look, actually, quite a bit. I don't like that greenish color. I mean, it looks also green on some of the gameplays that I've seen, so Superman is not green. We do call that color here like a sea green, which is close to blue, but it's not. But I do like the armor look and the headgear. Yeah, I do like that. Here he looks like that old Superman comics with Henry Cavill's hairline, but he looks like that 50-year-old Superman. I mean, not 50 because Superman doesn't age like that, but you know, much older Superman. And he actually looks here the closest to that classic Superman. And here is totally different. I mean, here he looks young in that shot, actually young, but again, that's not Superman's face, that's anyone else pretty much. You know, super, I don't know what, that other guy that is in Supergirl right now, like Superboy. I totally forgot how his name was in the comics and you know who he's supposed to be, but he could be with that kind of a look. Okay, so that was one of the coolest shots from the first trailer. And again, I like the headgear. The face, nope, because it's the same truck driver face. Okay, now let's move on to the best part of this. So, this is the only picture from the whole game that I could find that actually looks like, or at least the closest thing to Superman and the closest thing to Jim Lee's Superman. This is almost perfect and you can't see those bad features. He doesn't look with that old kind of a puffy face. Pretty much awesome Superman, badass, and his pose is very, you know, masculine and his body looks great and that armor looks amazing. Actually, this is my desktop right now in this picture, this whole picture, so it looks pretty amazing. But unfortunately, that is not how Superman looks in the gameplay. Unfortunately, that is just like a marketing picture to market the game, but that is all that it is, excluding the costume because that should be in the game, but you know, not how his face is, not how he really looks like. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about the old Superman from Injustice Gods Among Us. So the old Superman was not perfect at all. I was kinda giving him a pass. At least he had better facial features, although those are, you know, older graphics. His eyes looked like zombie eyes pretty much, but I mean, we are talking just about how his face is structured, whether or not that is resembles Superman. Handsome level or not, so yes, it does resemble that. Not so much so, but you can still say yes, that is Superman. It covers that. As for his body, definitely not very human anatomy here. Then his costume looks too hard, you can say, and I just don't like the whole structure of the cape and how it connects with the logo. Just kind of awkward, guys. So yeah, especially the colors, because that is grayish, it's not even blue. He was still Superman in the face, at least for the most part. So now I just want to talk about Wonder Woman just for a bit. I get to see how Wonder Woman looks in the game. I'm going to show you a picture of that and how Wonder Woman again should look, because it turns out that the second trailer I did say that I like how Wonder Woman looks, but we didn't really saw her face. So I went to the site, I saw her face, I saw a picture that again I'm going to show you, and it's just, she doesn't look like Wonder Woman in the face. I'm sorry, she just doesn't. Her costume was better, and the Wonder Woman from the previous game looked atrocious in terms of her body, like nothing connected to human anatomy whatsoever. The bones right here were like somewhere right here. She had a huge trap area and shoulders. She looked like somebody just broke her bones from the inside, like pushed. Oh, it was terrible. Okay, but anyways, I mean, the new Wonder Woman looks like 5 times better than, you know, the old one, but she doesn't have that face. So as you can see, we have Gal Gadot here, and the actress that played a Wonder Woman in that super cool Wonder Woman versus Wolverine thing that we recently saw. I think both those actresses can totally pull off Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot is already Wonder Woman. That actress with the blue eyes, she's amazing. She can even pass for Xena in a way. Although, like I always say, nobody can replace Lucy Lawless ever, but I think she's at least the closest thing that I've ever seen to Xena and Wonder Woman in the same time. So that actress has the blue eyes, she has the attitude, she has even how she, you know, execute the fighting moves. So impressive. Gal Gadot doesn't have blue eyes, which always will suck for me, because Wonder Woman should have the blue eyes. If the character shows in the comics that she has blue eyes, she's freaking having blue eyes. Gal Gadot turned out to be perfect on the big screen Wonder Woman, so that is what I will say. They're both Wonder Woman, and they're both Wonder Woman type of an actress and a woman and so on. Now let's see how Wonder Woman will look in the game. Okay, so this is Wonder Woman in the game, and as you can see, a lot better anatomy, which is great. She has great muscles. In the face, not so much. No, not in the hair too. What to tell you guys? Oh boy. At least make her eyes blue, damn it. Again, it's the same thing with Superman. You can do that, and you should do that. If Superman's with blue eyes, if Batman also, by the way, have to have blue eyes, Wonder Woman should damn have the blue eyes, at least in the games. You can just do that, probably with a flip of a switch or something. Okay guys, so that is pretty much it. I mean, the look of Wonder Woman don't really bother me that much. I just want to point it out that they didn't quite get her right either. Batman seems to be looking the greatest, at least so far. Aquaman, kinda awkward in the face again. Flash, I didn't think there was anything wrong with his face, at least for now. But still, those are not such established characters in terms of the face. Wonder Woman and Superman surely are. Supergirl, almost, I would say, but mostly Wonder Woman and number one, of course, Superman. Their faces are very well established in the type of a woman and type of a man that they are. How they're with their figure, how are they in their, muscular development, posture, charisma, even everything. Facial structure, blue eyes, damn it. Oh boy. So, again, I'm going to enjoy the game. Probably the story is going to be super cool. So yeah, but I just think that there's a certain amount of respect that has to be given of each and every one of those characters. If they're not doing that, they're just ruining, in a way, the character and how he's perceived. This is not, superficial. This is something that is very essential to the character. Everything about a character is essential. Their reaction to the world, how smart they are, what they are capable of, and also their appearance. It's just part of the job of being superhero, so to speak. So these things for me are important. Just hope you understand. I just want to talk about this. Probably nobody will talk about this, so just want to express what I think about that. Again, hope you understand, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time with Gary G Reviews.